Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It is indeed Teddy Bear Toss Night, and hopefully for the Prowlers, this guy will be able to join hundreds, if not thousands of his friends out on the ice tonight when the Prowlers score their first goal. Last season, this game was a little bit of luck for the Prowlers. It was the only victory they had over the Columbus River Dragons. They're still looking for their first win over the Thunderbirds this year. We'll have much more coming up for you next on the pregame show. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network. Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumb Coast professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today. Welcome back here to McMorran Place. As we mentioned, it is indeed the Christmas game Teddy Bear Toss Night for the Prowlers. But before we dive into tonight's game, let's take a look at the last game for the Prowlers when they visited the Motor City Rockers last weekend. It was after a come-from-behind win here at McMorran Place on Friday. They one up themselves, a 4-1 comeback over the Rockers. They were down 4-1 heading into the third period. Ricky Gonzalez had to come in after Trevor Babin left the game with what was reported afterwards as a nagging injury. Gonzalez came in. The Prowlers took advantage right off the bat of the cold goaltender. They scored 4 in the third and come away with a 5-4 win. Matt Graham had 2 goals in that third period. Dalton Jay had the tying goal shorthanded and a couple of helpers. And Makar Sokolov came away with the victory after a 19-save performance. You know who else played their last game in Motor City? The Carolina Thunderbirds. They did it last night against the Rockers, and they also came from behind to get a 3-2 win. Jacob Schnapp scored twice as it was a 2-0 Motor City lead in the second period. But Schnapp scored, and then Jan Salak a couple minutes later. They made it 2-2 going into the third before Schnapp scored the winner with 58 seconds left. And a frustrated Trevor Babin ended up breaking his stick on the post after that one. But Schnapp ended up with a breakaway in the final minute of a tied hockey game, and he did not miss. And those 2 losses for Motor City bring their losing streak up to 5. And all 5 of those games are the only 5 regulation losses they have this season. Let's take a look at what it means for the standings in the Continental Division. Carolina still trailing Columbus by 3 points. The Dragons are red hot right now, as are the Thunderbirds. Carolina coming into tonight 9-1 in their last 10 games. Prowlers still sitting in third. Thought there was a chance that Mississippi might be able to surpass them as the Seawolves played last night, but they lost to Baton Rouge 7-6. So the Prowlers stay in third place, where they earned that spot after the 2 wins last weekend. And they do have 3 games in hand on the Seawolves. And you see the Blue Ridge Bobcats and the Baton Rouge Zydeco still sitting outside of playoff positioning. Well, one Thunderbird that we didn't see a couple weeks ago when these 2 teams clashed in Winston-Salem was Roman Kramer, as he was playing in the SPHL at the time. He's played 4 games with Knoxville and Fayetteville this season in the SP, with 3 goals to speak of. But here in the Fed, 9 points in 8 games, including 3 goals. And he plays on that top line along with Gus Ford and Dawson Baker. Dominic Dumas not in the lineup. He was the one in that spot 2 weeks ago for Carolina. Well, last year's Teddy Bear Toss goal scorer was Dalton Jay. 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points last year in the Teddy Bear Toss game. against the Columbus River Dragons. And again, as I mentioned in the open, that was the only victory the Prowlers had last season against Columbus. So they're hoping for the same kind of luck here tonight as they search for their first victory over the Carolina Thunderbirds this season. We take a look at the lines for tonight's game as the Prowlers will start out with Dan Chartrand, Sam Merritt, and Tristan Sim. Some more line juggling as Vinny DeCumbus is unable to go tonight for the Prowlers. And a tough loss for Port Huron. He's a huge piece. Scored a big goal last week in the game winner on Friday against the Motor City Rockers here at McMorran. And that was a shorthanded goal with under 5 minutes left, but he is unavailable in the lineup tonight. Davide Gaeta draws back in after being scratched a week ago. He's the extra forward tonight. It'll be Chartrand, Merritt, and Sim, Picard, Foley, and Scantleberry, and Matt Graham with Liam Freeborn and Dalton J. On the back end, Alex Johnson and Paul Arnott will be paired together. So will Brian Parsons and Frank Schumacher. And Austin Federley back in the lineup for the Prowlers tonight. He's missed the last 2 weeks with a hand injury, and he is finally back, and a good time for the Prowlers. He'll be paired along with Braden Deck on defense tonight as Dalton Young is scratched for the Prowlers. Makar Sokolov will be getting the start in between the pipes for Port Huron this evening as he searches for his 5th victory of the season. We're just getting set for the opening puck drop and the announcement of the starting lineup for the Port Huron Prowlers, and those are just a few minutes away. And we will send you down to ice level when they do happen. But in case you missed the last time these two teams played, Carolina swept a 3-3 in Winston-Salem, 4-1 in the first game, then 3-2 in overtime in the second game, and then 5-3 in the third game. Let's take you down to ice level for the announcement of the starting lineup presented by Orthopedic Associates.
Number 21, Dan Chartrand. Number 77, Sam Merritt. And starting tonight in goal, number 72, Makar Sokolov. And now let's welcome the
Well, they announced Paul Arnott as one of the starters for the Prowlers, but that is incorrect as Frank Schumacher is starting tonight for Port Huron, as we told you here on the PHP network. Looks like we have a quick ceremonial puck drop before tonight's game. And it looks like the Bumble has come out to drop the puck tonight. Of course, from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon, the Bumble who started evil and became good and finished off the movie by putting the star at the top of the Christmas tree. He is the inspiration for this year's Prowlers Christmas uniforms. And he gets the ceremonial puck drop tonight. Let's take a look at the starting goaltenders for tonight's game. Makar Sokolov in net for the Prowlers. He is 4-1 with a 3.6 goals against average and an .894 save percentage, 19 saves on 23 shots in his last time out. Frankie McClendon is in between the pipes for Carolina tonight. His only start with the Thunderbirds this year. He's 2-1. One start with Carolina, 2 with Danbury. His only start with the Thunderbirds was a victory over the Prowlers in Winston-Salem. Sam Merritt set to draw with Peter Panacek as the Thunderbirds start with the check line, and we are underway as it's dumped in right on McClendon by Brian Parsons. Dan Chartrand below the goal line, curls it around, and Schumacher lost an edge. Puck slides to Prowler ice where Parsons picks it up. Salak kept it in. Schumacher trying to work it out along the wall. He'll skate it, get the red line, and dump it in. Prowlers will make their first change of the night. We're 45 seconds gone in the opening period. Here comes Joe Kennedy, who dumped it around. Kennedy was sent to the showers early in 2 of the 3 games played between these teams in Winston-Salem 2 weeks ago. He got a match penalty for a hit from behind on Alex Johnson that was then turned into a game misconduct, and then he and Johnson fought the next night, and those both turned into game misconducts as well. Picard behind the net. Off the wall to Alex Johnson. Back to Picard. Down to Evan Foley. Rims it this side. Are not wearing number 93 tonight because that happens when specialty jersey nights go on. Sometimes different numbers get worn, but he is the only one tonight. As the Prowlers offside as Foley tried to touch the puck, so we'll get a whistle and a face-off. 18:23 left to go in the opening period. If you're just joining us and wondering what the Prowlers are wearing, it is their specialty Christmas jersey night and teddy bear toss night. They have their specialty Christmas jerseys inspired by the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer character, the Bumble. Nate Keeley. Third line on for Carolina against the Matt Graham line for the Prowlers as Keeley fired it off the side of the cage. Schnapp. Now Keeley just couldn't find the target. Sent back on. Schnapp got a tip on it. Put back in front, and Austin Federley back in the lineup for the Prowlers rescues it. John Batista, the captain, had it taken away by Parsons. Jay towards the net, looking for Parsons, who is driving the crease. And now comes out to Prowler ice. Freeborn, quick up to Jay. Liam Freeborn wasn't in the lineup for the Prowlers last time these teams met, as he was inactive. Tucker Firth has it back, feeds it up to Pastuca. Tried to one-touch it along. Icing waved off as Panacek won the race. Thunderbirds leaders in assists with 21 is Peter Panacek. That one wristed on, gloved and held by Makar Sokolov. Early shots favoring the Thunderbirds 2-1, still no score. As Merritt and Panachuk will draw, Salak gets it to the corner. Schumacher tried to work it up ice. Now Clay Keeley sent it back deep. Pastuka. Now Salak pulls it out of the pile. Gets around the dot, and a kick save by Sokolov. Panachuk to Pastuka. Quick shot off the post. He hit the post dead center, and he popped right back out to center ice. Sokolov will hang on to that high dump. We'll get a whistle and another face-off. Couple of dangerous chances for the Thunderbirds early on. We're about 3.5 minutes in. Foley won the face-off away from Gus Ford. Scantleberry chips it in. Now Picard from the outside wound one up. And Frankie McClendon has it in the glove for a whistle. The journeyman backup for Carolina, Frankie McClendon. He's played with 6 FPHL teams, won 2 Commissioner's Cups, including one with these Thunderbirds back in 2019, and rejoined the team for his second stint earlier this year. Farmer up the wall. Ford gets it out. Chased by Arnott. Now Alex Johnson. Foley stood up at the line. Scantleberry takes his man in hard. Now coming up with it is Roman Kramer. Gets to the middle of the ice. Still with it as he's followed by Federley. Now Clay Keeley in from his defensive position. Centered, but only found Foley. Scantleberry off the wall and out. Kramer dumps it right back in. And the whistles blow. I believe hand pass is the signal from the referee. So we'll get a face-off down in Thunderbird territory. Still looking for our first score of the game. Thunderbird sending out Jacob Schnapp's line again. Schnapp with 2 goals last night, including the game winner with 58 seconds left to beat the Motor City Rockers, as McClendon scoops up that quick shot off the draw. Schnapp also had an overtime winner against the Prowlers 2 weeks ago in Winston-Salem. Tied up, kicked back to the line. Federley walks. On the ice, goes all the way around. Jay gives it to Deck, backhander. Was blocked partially by Keeley. Now Nate Keeley. Butita looking for a Schnapp out of his reach. He'll send it right on net, and Sokolov gathers it in. Covers up for another face-off. Bit of a choppy start, plenty of whistles within the first 5 minutes. The fans still holding on to their teddy bears. Well, a face-off to Sokolov's left. Nate Keeley wins it back clean, but it's forced out of the zone by Parsons. Schumacher, D to Parsons. Quickly up to Freeborn, makes a move on Firth. He lost the handle, and Nate Keeley trying to work back up ice. Plays it in. Schumacher. Now Schnapp stole the puck, Butita. To the point, Firth with space, and nice block by Davide Gaeta. On his first shift of the game, quick shot, kicked out by Sokolov off the stick of Butita. Panachuk back to Firth. Merritt tips it in. He'll head after it himself along with Tucker Firth, who's in the midst of a long shift. Sim gets it to the middle of the ice, but he was surrounded. Gaeta to the point. Parsons just couldn't keep it in. A late offsides call from the linesman at the far side. Thunderbirds get it out. Here comes Salak. Shot it wide. Panacek first on it. Now Alex Johnson quickly up to Sim. Steered away by McClendon, and then the puck chopped out of play. And we'll get a whistle and a break. No score, 13:33 left to go in the Munger Physical Therapy opening period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumbcoats professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today. Offensive zone face-off for the Prowlers. 13:33 left to go in the opening period. Tucker Scantleberry will take it against the Thunderbirds' leading scorer, Gus Ford. No points last night for Ford. He hasn't been held without a point in back-to-back nights since the 2021-22 season. He did not go back-to-back games without a point in his MVP year last year, as that pass splits everyone and goes all the way down to Sokolov. Prowlers will surely be wary of him tonight, as Kennedy working up, fires it around. Scantleberry over to Arnott. Picard working out with speed, chips it along. Foley in there with Farmer, sends it around to Scantleberry. Curling away from Baker. Scantleberry thought about the Michigan, just couldn't get the puck up on the stick, and then he turns it over to Ford. His pass to Kramer was knocked away. Deck working up the left wing side. Up the boards, Kennedy cut it off. Comes right back to Deck. He has the red line, he'll dump it in. Prowlers make a forward change as Kennedy feeds it over. Up the left wing side. And turning it over was Mavalli. Now Jay in with a shot. Sliding blocked by Kennedy. Putita fired it over top of the cage. Graham up to Jay. One touches it on to Freeborn. Makes a move, finds Graham. Sent back this way by the newest Thunderbird, Mavalli, signed this week. Made his Thunderbirds debut last night. Was a member of the Delaware Thunder last season, where he played 38 games. Clay Keeley up to Batita. Batita trying to fight his way into offensive territory. The puck poked off his stick. And Keeley will rim it around. Chartrand with help off the bench finds Gaeta. Now Chartrand again as the Thunderbirds got back in numbers. Wrist shot towards the net, stopped by McClendon. Puck sits there, Gaeta stopped again. Parsons wrists it off the back wall. Gaeta lost it to Keeley. Chartrand in there battling for it. Keeley wrestled down to the ice. That's Panachuk looking for Salak. That pass almost turned back in the other direction. Now Tucker Firth back in his own end. So we approach 10.5 to go in the opening period. Ford working one-on-one on Johnson. He'll take the shot, steered away by Sokolov. Ford has it again, gives it to Pastuca. Good stick by Scantlebury to keep that shot from being on net. Johnson chips it up the wall. Comes to Farmer, who walks the line, wrist shot. Blocked on the way through by traffic. Pastuca looking back towards Ford. Puck was in Picard's skates. Thunderbirds able to keep it alive. Here's Salak. Muscled into the wall. That's Johnson battling in the corner for it. Able to pull it out. Prowlers finally get it out of their own end, but Firth sends it right back in. Carolina in the midst of a change, and Kramer fresh off the bench. Rims it back around to the far side. To the point it comes. Firth, wrist shot scooped up by Makar Sokolov. And he'll hang on for a whistle and another face-off. Still no score. Shots 6-all here at McMorran Place. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network. Back here at McMorran Place, 9:19 to go in the Munger Physical Therapy first period. And no score yet between the Prowlers and the Thunderbirds. Offensive zone draw coming for Carolina. They have 4 guys lined up right on the face-off circle. It's Roman Kramer right at the top of the circle. Graham pushes it forward. Jay heading after it, but Kennedy just able to get there in time as Jay had a man going to the net. That face-off play almost bit Carolina. Ford barely onside. Prowlers bang it out. Here's Ford again. Kennedy, lead pass on for Baker. This side to Firth. Puts it between his own legs. Lost the handle, though. Baker around the net. Drops it off to Kennedy. Ford. Wrists it through right into the catching glove of Makar Sokolov for a whistle and a face-off. Thunderbirds getting some good opportunities so far in this game. Prowlers have fought back a little bit in the last few minutes as far as the shot totals go. Both goaltenders still perfect so far. As Picard fires one up to Scantlebury, tips it in, played by McClendon, right to Bioni. Picard from the outside, bounces around in the slot. Bioni trying to muscle off Scantlebury. He chips it along. Schumacher right to Picard off the wall. Scantlebury tried to keep it moving, but it ran into Schnapp. Now Batida lost the handle, and he's going to draw a penalty. the arm goes up, Bionia's shot kicked out by Sokolov, and as Picard touches it, we'll get our first penalty of the game. It is a hooking call, and it will go against Tucker Scantlebury. So 7:53 to go in the first. The Thunderbirds' 5th-ranked power play in the FPHL will go to work for the first time. 0 for 2 last night against the Rockers. Prowlers PK was 5 for 6 last weekend against Motor City, still last in the FPHL at 71.2% as Johnson fired it off his own man Merritt, and the puck stays in. Pastuca over to Baker, right back. Pastuca looking for a shooting lane. He fired it wide with about 4 Prowlers in front of him. And now Matt Graham gets a stick on that puck to get it deep in Carolina territory. He's after it, and Baker goes sprawling to the ice. Salak comes and digs the puck out. 30 seconds gone in the Carolina power play. Salak back in for it again, just barely on sides. Baker across to Panacek. Walks in, finds forward behind the net. In front, Salak scores! Gus Ford to the slot. Jan Salak puts it home. Power play goal for Carolina. And they have a 1-0 lead with 7:04 to go in the opening period. Eighth of the year for Salak, 3rd on the power play. He has goals in 3 straight now. As Graham and Nate Keeley get set to draw. Prowlers will have to come from behind tonight if they want to get another victory on Teddy Bear Toss Night as they did last year. Nate Keeley taken in by Parsons, rims it up the wall this side. Butita around, up to the top it comes to Kennedy, wrists it on, and Sokolov hanging on to it. It's actually delayed offsides against Carolina, so the Prowlers dig it out of Sokolov's equipment and move the other direction. Butita, quick up to Schnapp, the step, and he fired it high and wide. Schnapp again with Ford heading to the net. Schnapp working up high, tried to feed it down low. Parsons knocked it away. Ford at the line, just kept it in. And now Freeborn takes the puck, working on Bioni. Freeborn tried to send it towards the net where Merritt was. Couldn't get it there. Merritt taken into the wall by Butita. And it slid around to Firth, and now back again. Johnson steps in to keep the puck alive. Chartrand in front looking for Sim. That was taken away. And Bioni plays it off the wall into Prowler ice. Thunderbirds in the midst of a change, 5.5 left to go in the opening period. Sim moves up. Now Foley fed it across. Chartrand takes it off the wall. Back pass. Johnson a drive right into the chest of Frankie McClendon, and he'll hang on for a whistle. 5:14 left to go in the opening period. And Jan Salak has the Thunderbirds up 1-0. Gus Ford and Peter Panacek picking up the assists. And for Panacek, that's his team high 22nd of the year. Comes back to Federley. He'll turn it deep. Foley behind the net to Scantlebury. Deck out high, wrists it down. Foley towards Picard, right back. They continue to work below the goal line. Foley getting worked over by Gus Ford. Able to get it out to Scantlebury. His shot blocked. Federley keeps it in at the line, wrists it on, and gloved and held by McClendon. Will take a timeout. Jan Salak with the only goal of the game so far. Carolina with a 1-0 lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry
Howie's! Back here at McMorran Place, late stages, opening period, and it's Carolina with a 1-0 lead. Will Wiggleman with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's Teddy Bear Toss Night here at McMorran Place, so when the Prowlers score, be sure to throw a teddy bear or stuffed animal at your TVs. To join the Prowlers faithful here, I'll be throwing my teddy bear from all the way up in the broadcast booth. If you want to start taking bets now on whether or not I'll reach the ice, I'll tell you last year I did not. But I did grab a smaller one this year, so maybe I'll be able to throw that one a little bit further. Someone smarter than me might be able to tell you a little bit about wind resistance and all that fun scientific stuff about throwing a stuffed animal. Place your bets now. I'll let you know if I hit the ice. Here's Joe Kennedy, rimming it deep. Gaeta up to Sam Merritt. Johnson plays it behind the net. Of course, the last thing the Prowlers want would be to get shut out on Teddy Bear Toss Night. Of course, we're still in the first period. They didn't score until the second last year on Teddy Bear Toss Night, but I only bring that up because it happened last night as Baker fires one off the arm of Sokolov. In Baton Rouge, the Zydeco failed to score. They got shut out by the Blue Ridge Bobcats 2-0 on their Teddy Bear Toss Night as Sokolov hangs on to that long-range shot. And Graham getting into a shoving match with Roman Kramer as they introduce themselves to each other. The Zydeco were shut out last night on their Teddy Bear Toss Night, as that is the last home game for Baton Rouge until late February, as they embark on, well, I could say embark on a 19-game road trip, but really it's just 19 straight road games. They'll be back in Louisiana plenty of times between those games, especially over the next month when they're only playing the Mississippi Seawolves for the first, I believe, 8 games of that road trip. Federley back in his own end. Now Picard off the boards and out. Foley picks it up, finds Scantleberry into offensive territory. Working on Farmer all the way around the net. And Farmer puts him into the wall from behind, and Foley going after Farmer. So's Picard. Scantleberry down the ice, and now Parsons comes flying through to get a piece of Farmer, and Scantleberry still down over in the far side corner as Prowlers trainer Bridget Smith rushes out to him. James Farmer will be heading to the penalty box for at least 2, and we'll see if maybe more. This isn't the first dangerous hit by a Thunderbird on a Prowler this year. Joe Kennedy was given a 5-minute major in a game misconduct 2 weeks ago in Winston-Salem for a hit on Alex Johnson. He did not get a suspension as Scantleberry is back to his feet. You see the captains, or you did see the captains, John Batista and Evan Foley, chatting with the referees over in the referee circle and fully having an extended conversation. Your referees tonight are Adam Fish and Jonathan Satarski. The linesmen are Dallas Mitchell and Jamie West. 2 minutes are up on the board for this Prowlers quality power play. Prowlers power play was 2 for 10 last weekend against Motor City. 5th in the league right now at 24.1%. Here's Johnson. Gives it over to Freeborn, tried to feed it back. Gaeta now over to Freeborn. Freeborn, wrist shot, blocked on the way through. They bang away, sits there at the side of the crease, still jamming. And finally McClendon able to get his glove on top for a whistle. This Thunderbirds penalty kill is 4th in the FPHL at 81.6%. Went 2 for 2 last night in Motor City. And now Scantlebury is stepping out onto the ice. So he only had to go off because the play was stopped for his injury, I believe. Or he just had to get checked out real quick. And he's on the ice with his regular power play unit in his normal spot on the left wing side. Here's Johnson to Scantlebury. Wrist shot off the stick of Frankie McClendon. Freeborn leaves it to Gaeta. Now Johnson switches spots. Johnson with a shot that was blocked. Pops up in the air. Scantlebury settles it down. Now Gaeta to Johnson. One more Freeborn. Back to Johnson. Wrist shot. Stopped by McClendon. And Chartrand is looking for that loose puck. He's immediately grabbed by a couple of Thunderbirds. Scantlebury coming in to defend his fellow Manitoban. Actually, that was Sam Merritt, excuse me, not Dan Chartrand. That was Merritt digging away at the crease, and Merritt is going to get a penalty. And that looks like it will even things up 4-on-4 for the next 58 seconds. As Merritt gets 2 minutes for slashing. So that will nullify the rest of the Prowlers power play. As Bioni fires it on net. Caught and held by Makar Sokolov. Ford and Graham to draw to Sokolov's left once again. Graham able to get it out. Here's Dalton Jay. Working on Bioni. Jay makes a move to the backhand. Just pushed it wide back to the far side. Ford has to come back for that pass. 90 seconds to go in period 1. Kramer plays it off the back wall to Bioni. His lead pass missed everyone and will go for an icing. Back to Prowler territory. So Port Huron will get an offensive zone face-off. 27 seconds left on the penalty to James Farmer. Scantlebury and Ford in on the draw. Scantlebury wins it back clean. Johnson feeds it around in Chartrand's direction. Now Scantlebury pulls it out. Curling on Ford. Tried to wrist it towards net. Chartrand just got it back on goal. And now Chartrand and Bioni grabbing at each other. Those two fought in Winston-Salem a couple weeks ago. Nothing more will come of it, as the linesmen were in there quickly to break it up. Face-off will come over to the far side. 11 seconds left in the 4-on-4, and then it will be a Carolina power play for 1 minute and 2 seconds. Face-off comes out of the zone. Johnson. Now Graham feeds it back. Paul Arnott. Off the wall to Sim. Now it's a Thunderbirds power play. Johnson 2-on-1 with Graham. Gets it over. Graham back across. That was knocked away by Pastuca. Graham was on his backhand, so maybe didn't have the best shooting angle and tried to give it right back to Alex Johnson. And unfortunately, Prowlers don't get a shot away. They might here. Johnson rips it off a stick and flies into the protective netting, out of play. Good shorthanded opportunity there for the Prowlers just as the 4-on-4 was expiring. 34.5 seconds left to go in this opening period. Face-off won back by the Thunderbirds. Pastuca lost his edge, but he got it to Panacek. Gets in with 25. Thunderbirds looking to set up. They score on their last power play. That was Salak who did it. There's Baker. As Salak sets up in front. Ford. Back to Baker. Wrist shot. Hits Salak. Schumacher able to work it as far as Chartrand, who clears it all the way the rest down. That looks like that's going to do it for the period, as Baker has fired it across. And 20 minutes down here at McMorran Place. And on the strength of a Jan Salak power play goal, it is 1-0 Thunderbirds. Shots on goal in that opening period, 13 for the Thunderbirds and 11 for the Prowlers. Coming up in the first intermission, the Continental Catch-Up. It won't include last night's game or games or Thursday night's game, but it will bring you everything that went on last weekend. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We'll also take a look at some of the FPHL storylines, which actually will include something from one of last night's games. Stick around to see what that is. And we will have it all for you coming up right here on the PHP Network. We'll get your holiday shopping finished at the Port Huron Prowlers team store. The store features shirts, hats, decorations, and more, with new sweatshirts coming in soon. Find us on the west end of McMorran Arena at every home game or online anytime at prowlersmerch.com. You can scan the QR code on your screen now to visit the online shop. Look your POHO best with gear from the Prowlers team store. Brand new mitt stalls are now on sale at the team store. We may see a few of those on the ice tonight. On Teddy Bear Toss Night, Prowlers still searching for that goal. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, the Continental Catch-Up right here on the PHP Network.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry
Howie's!
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
Down low and back across near the blue line for Kirkby. Second unit on the bench ready to go. Kirkby misfires, tipped in though by Ivashkin. The Black Bears have the game's first goal. Nikita Ivashkin grabs his 10th goal of the season, and the Black Bears are on the board first. Is 1 for 2 on the penalty kill. So far in this one, give and go, touch pass over for Ivashkin, throws on the brakes as he lost his edge. No harm, no fouls, he makes his way back up to his feet. Smith, outside the dots, easy backdoor pass for Nikita Ivashkin. Folks, it doesn't get easier than that, and the Black Bears have taken the lead with 5:58 left to go in regulation time.
Dawson Baker battling with Tyson Kirkby. Kirkby trying to clear the zone as now a crushing hit comes in as Baker goes down, but it doesn't matter as Bonantric scores. So Carolina once again with a 4-goal lead. They lead 6-2 here at 13:55 remaining in the second period. Here's the turnover. Baker leaves and they score again. Gus Ford.
To the near side. And a big hit on the near side. Puck right on the front. Petrantonio scores! Josh Petrantonio takes advantage of the turnover, cutting through the slot. And with 1:21 to go in the second, he puts the River Dragons back out in front. It's 3-2.
D-Wolves will control it out the near side boards. Here comes Philip Wong up the side. He'll pass it up. And they score!
Man, Sam Turner with another assist there, too, to what appears to be Philip Wong.
Feed on the left side, and now up a speeder. Shinkarik into the play, down low, in on the forehand, puck in front. They jam away, it's still loose in the crease, they score! Finally, the puck jammed home in a goal-mouth scramble with 2:50 to go in the third. River Dragons retake the lead, it's 5-4. Austin Doe's got his second goal of the night.
Here's Graham. Surveys the top. Astlin across. Here's a shot. Score! Power play goal for the Zydeco. They cash in on the power play. It's 3-0. This one sent back on towards the front. Still 21 seconds until Larwood comes back out of the box. Here's a shot. Score! Two short-handed goals for the Zydeco, and Jake Cox gets involved. Zydeco striking twice quickly in this game. We saw it last night from them, short-handed. They do it right here on the power play, and looking again here for another shot. Score! How about that? Noah Robinson. 3-1 Baton Rouge.
Hall. Hit from behind. 1:30 left. Connor Green is out. Net's empty. Newberg, bank pass. In front. Score! Jacob Wolf has tied the game! with 1:24 to go in regulation. 1 minute remaining in overtime. Here's Smirnoff. He'll muscle his way in front. Score! Warm up the bus. Sava Smirnoff has won it in overtime.
First intermission rolling on here at McMorran Place. It's 1-0 Carolina through 20 minutes of play. Will Wiggleman with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And before we look back at that first period, let's take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard. And we start with Danbury and Elmira, who is the only other game in action right now, and they traded first period goals. It's 1-1 through one period of play. The other three games on the docket tonight, all getting set to drop the puck momentarily as Watertown visits Binghamton, Blue Ridge visits Columbus, and Baton Rouge begins that 19-game road trip with a trip to Mississippi. Keeping it around the FPHL, and we'll start with the Blue Ridge Bobcats, who got a shutout last night. The first shutout of the year in the FPHL belongs to Connor Green, as he shut out the Zydeco on Baton Rouge's Teddy Bear Toss night. So a bit of an awkward situation for the home team, but Connor Green is first on the shutout board in the FPHL this year. MJ Markle signed a celebrity contract for the Elmira River Sharks to play tonight. He's the second Elmira coach to sign a celebrity contract this year. Tyler Jurich, the head coach, did it earlier this season. He actually scored a goal in that game. Keeping it upstate New York, Alex Basie was traded to Watertown, made his Wolves debut last night after he began the season as a member of the Columbus River Dragons. And those are your FPHL storylines. Now we turn our attention back to tonight's game between the Thunderbirds and the Prowlers. Carolina with the only goal in that opening period. Outshot the Prowlers 13-11. They're 1-for-1 so far on the power play. They have 7 seconds left on their second power play of the night. And unless they score quickly, that would make them 1-for-2. Prowlers 0-for-1 on the man advantage so far in this game as we get set for second period action right here on the PHP Network. Before we start the period, let's take a look at our PHP Network trivia question for tonight. And if you were here for the pregame show, you would know the answer to this because I said it in the pregame show. And don't cheat and rewind to the pregame show. But last season, the Prowlers defeated the Columbus River Dragons 7-3 in their Teddy Bear Toss game. Who scored the Teddy Bear Toss goal last season? Put your answer in the YouTube comment section and we'll let you know what it is when we begin the third period of play. A great annual tradition for the Prowlers, the Teddy Bear Toss game, the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics game, Prowlers will be auctioning off those Christmas-themed jerseys to support the Special Olympics, the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. We do have an interview with Special Olympian Brian Larson, who helps out the Prowlers just about every night here at McMorran Place. He's behind the bench again tonight, and we'll have an interview with him between the second and third period, so be sure to stay tuned for the second intermission to hear about his time in the Special Olympics and check out his medals as well. But first, the middle 20 of tonight's game. Frankie McClendon set in the goal crease to our right, 11 saves on 11 Prowler shots in the opening period. Makar Sokolov, 12 saves on 13 Thunderbird shots in the first 20 minutes, and we're underway, and just like that, we're back to 5-on-5. Frank Schumacher works it up this side, Firth towards the net, and Schumacher comes back in to kick it away. Sokolov leaves it there again for Schumacher. Right up to Chartrand. Hands it off to Merritt. He'll dump it in. Chartrand wraparound try. Just couldn't get that one on net. As McClendon was ready for the puck to go back around the other direction. Chartrand almost able to catch him there. Evan Foley off the wall. Couldn't get it out. Parsons gets it to Scantlebury. Banks it in. Here comes Picard, leaving it for Foley. Sends it around. Scantlebury. Taken into the wall. Picard up the boards towards Arnott. They keep it moving to Scantlebury behind the net. Pushes through Clay Keeley. Scantlebury to Foley. Keeley without a stick now as he dropped it in the corner. Comes across to Arnott. Just trying to keep it deep. Now out front, Picard stopped by Frankie McClendon, and then Scantlebury, or it was Foley, excuse me, dumped his man in front. And Scantlebury and Baker having some extra words. A couple extra shoves, and they'll tie up again. Linesman still trying to get between them, and now they'll just start calling penalties as Tucker Scantlebury and Dawson Baker go to the penalty boxes. Still jawing at each other the whole way. Like Scantlebury was knocked down by Baker away from the plays. They were battling in front of the net. That was right before the puck came out for Brandon Picard, and just kind of all of that overshadows a very good save from Frankie McClendon on the Prowlers' leading scorer from point-blank range. First shot of this second period. We'll play 4-on-4 as they put both penalties up on the board. So Matt Graham and Pierre Panacek will slide in for the faceoff. Prowlers set up. Graham below the goal line. Out to Johnson. Unsportsmanlike conduct minors for both Scantlebury and Baker. Kennedy able to turn away from Graham. Thunderbirds up ice. Salak pushes it around Johnson. Now Panacek. Out high. Tried to wrist it through. It was blocked. Bioni back to center. 40 seconds gone in the 4-on-4. And Bioni's iced the puck. So Carolina won't get to make a change. And the Prowlers will get an offensive zone faceoff. They'll send out Sam Merritt and Dalton Jay up front. Brian Parsons and Frank Schumacher on defense. Against a relatively tired group of Thunderbirds. About a 43-second shift for those four on the ice right now for Carolina. As Panacek Works it around to Kennedy. Is able to skate out. Kennedy into offensive territory. Drop pass quickly across. And Salak's one-timer partially blocked away by Schumacher. Now the Thunderbirds get the change they were looking for. Jay up to Schumacher. Has Merritt going to net. Puts it there, and Merritt just tipped it high into the netting. Quick pass came to the back door, and Sam Merritt just couldn't get it home. .46 seconds left in 4-on-4. 3:02 gone in the Hungry Howie's second period. Off the draw, Farmer starts a rush with Pestuka. Passes a little ahead of his intended target, so now Sim back in. Tried to pick up his own rebound off the back wall, but now it's Ford. Over to Farmer. Back up to Gus Ford, sauces it across. Pestuka trying to play it off the wall. He'll bang it deep. Now Federley. Picard sent it across towards Sim. Off the boards it goes. Schnapp plays it back to Farmer. Farmer into offensive territory, risks it wide. They're sending Baker and Scantleberry back on the ice, so we're back to 5-on-5. Graham feeds it around to the far side. Schnapp and Parsons get there together. Now Graham lifts the stick of Farmer. Prowlers move in. Scantleberry from the outside. Stopped by McClendon. Graham put it back out in front. That one just couldn't find the target. Federley towards the net, steered away. Parsons comes in to keep it deep. Farmer to Batita. Now Farmer has it again, hassled by Matt Graham. Clay Keeley. Back over to Farmer. Keeley again. Prowlers getting a bit of a change in with the puck deep in Thunderbird territory, but the Carolina's able to work it out now. Schumacher. His pass goes off of Batita. 3 Prowlers in there digging away as the Thunderbirds captain waits for help off the bench. Jay. Comes to Chartrand. Back to Jay. Score! The Teddy Bears are hitting the ice here at McMorran, and Dalton Jay ties it up. All right, fans, let's see how well I can do from all the way up here. I'll let you know in a second if I hit the ice, as the Teddy Bears are flying. And right into the Prowlers bench. So if you had Prowlers bench on your betting card, congratulations, that's exactly where my throw landed. Maybe I need to hit the gym a little bit more. Well, it's Dalton Jay who scores the Teddy Bear toss goal. It's Jay's 4th of the year. And we'll get the cleanup crew out here to clean up all the Teddy Bears, which will be donated sometime next week. And a nice showing here from the crowd at McMorran Place with the Teddy Bears. We'll take a quick timeout while they clean these up. 14:50 to go in the second period. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people. They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumb Coast professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today. They're just about finished cleaning up all the teddy bears on the ice. Here, 14:50 to go in the second period. And poor Brendan Riley over in the other broadcast booth over there, talking through his second teddy bear toss night in a row, as Motor City also had the teddy bear toss last night. So Dan Chartrand picks up the only assist on Dalton Jay's goal, as the cleanup crew heads off the ice. It is a 1-1 game. So Matt Graham and Gus Ford ready to get this game back underway. Another successful teddy bear toss here at McMorran Place has come and gone, but still lots of time to go in this game as Sokolov makes a kick save. And then Kennedy sent it past the net. Johnson gives it up to Graham, chips it along. Here's Freeborn working in. His shot off of Firth's stick. Thunderbirds wanted the 3-on-2, but Ford had to come back for the puck. Now Graham steals it, put it on net, stopped by McClendon. Freeborn whiffed on the bouncing biscuit, and now the Thunderbirds with a rush, but there are whistles going off. They're pointing Firth to the penalty box. Looks like something happened behind the play. I saw Matt Graham at one point behind the play, down on the ice sliding. It looks like now the penalty will come to Tucker Firth for something more behind the play, as they're taking the official TV timeout here. We already did it here, so we'll keep you right here as the Prowlers will head back to the quality power play for the second time in this game. Slashing is the call against Firth. So the Prowlers again to the power play for the second time in this game. Prowlers up on shots in this period, 4-1, and a chance to take the lead in this game. If you're just returning to your TV and missed the entire teddy bear barrage, it was Dalton Jay who scored the teddy bear toss goal, assisted by Dan Chartrand. Prowlers send out Sam Merritt's unit along with Scantleberry, Gaeta, Freeborn, and Johnson for this power play. It'll be Nate Keeley, Jacob Schnapp, Clay Keeley, and I believe that's Kennedy over on the far side. Oh, it's not Kennedy, it is Farmer, excuse me, who is completing the penalty kill unit for Carolina. And it is Farmer who bangs it the length of the ice. Alex Johnson up to Scantleberry, left wing side, floats it across. Merritt and Schnapp in there together. Now Nate Keeley trying to work it up the wall. Comes to Johnson, quickly across the Scantleberry, winds, fires, blocked by Farmer, and that one then is chipped out of play. Minute 18 to go on the second power play of the night for the Prowlers, and they send out the other unit. That includes their goal scorer, Dalton Jay, along with their leading scorer this year, Brandon Picard. And Matt Graham will take the face-off against Gus Ford. Kennedy taken into the wall. Graham trying to dig it out. 3 Prowlers in there. And finally pops out to Ford. He'll work up with Batista, short-handed. Ford makes a move on Federley, but Picard came back to knock it away. Batista over to the near side. Kennedy picks it up. And Kennedy just trying to waste some time. 3 Prowlers in there digging away at the puck. Federley able to get it out, sauces it on for Jay. Lead pass on to Graham. He has a 2-on-1 with Sim. Or that was Picard, excuse me. And that one fired the length of the ice. 25 seconds to go on the penalty to Tucker Firth. Federley up to Jay. Across to Sim, looking for Freeborn. That hit a skate. Now Federley back, watched by Schnapp. Schnapp takes the puck away. Drop pass, saved by Sokolov. It leaked through. And Nate Keeley trying to get it behind the net, and that's sent out of play. But they rule a deflection. Just as we're back to 5-on-5, we get a whistle. But Schnapp able to take the puck away from Austin Federley. He got it back to Nate Keeley. His shot was stopped mostly by Makar Sokolov. Just leaked through to the post, and Keeley was flying in, trying to put it in. Well, luckily for the Prowlers, no harm on that one. So we're back to 5-on-5. Panacek wins the faceoff back. Clay Keeley with a shot that bounced around through traffic. To a side scrum in the corner. Now Parsons around. Up to Jay, but pass got through him. Clay Keeley trying to work it out himself, knocked off his stick. Salak and Foley battling for the puck. And now Schumacher almost lost it. Jay lead pass towards Chartrand. Icing waved off, so Keeley has to play it. They get it over to Pastuca. Prowlers on the forecheck with a steal. Merritt sends it deep. He'll head after it. Now Farmer hassled by Merritt. Pass out in front, cut off by Keeley. Farmer again. Fed it across to Pastuca. Pulls up. Parsons to Schumacher off the wall. Tucker Scantleberry up to Brandon Picard, 2-on-3 as they hit the line. And the shot dribbled in on McClendon. Now back in front. That one popped up in the air. And Deck gloves it down at center. 10:35 left to go in the second period. Federley plays it off the glass, glove down by Baker. He keeps it in the zone. Has Kramer in front, sent it there. Prowler's able to take it back. Scantleberry to Federley, working in. His shot caught by McClendon for a whistle. Austin Federley, the natural forward, playing defense and jumping up into the play there. Got a good wrist shot off. McClendon able to snare it with the glove hand. Prowler sending out Matt Graham's line. with Davide Gaeta playing left wing. Here's Graham. They're out there with Freeborn, who has the puck, but he couldn't handle it. Puck sitting there near the crease, slides behind the net. Ford digging at it, gets it up to Baker. Gaeta takes it away. Now Ford has it back. Kramer across, Baker to Kennedy. Stopped by Sokolov. Ford curling back, out high to Deity. Kennedy, his blast went absolutely nowhere. The puck was still in his skates. Bounced out, Ford across to Firth. Works in, his shot kicked out by Makar Sokolov. Are not up the wall. And now Foley with Freeborn. Foley going to net. Freeborn takes the shot, save the rebound, just pushed wide. Schumacher up to Foley at the Thunderbirds blue line. Prowlers only have 3 on the ice right now. Foley back in. Now the Prowlers have 4, and now 5 as Scantlebury steps on the ice. Meanwhile, it's Potato with a shot. Stopped by Sokolov, and he'll hang on for a whistle. And a face-off will take a timeout. 8:51 to go in the second. We saw the Teddy Bears fly, and we'll take a break. With a 1-1 score, you're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network. .8:51 to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. It's ones for both sides with 19 shots for the Prowlers and 18 for the Thunderbirds. Both goaltenders have been good. And Freeborn looking to test Frankie McClendon again. He's taken into the wall. Now Keeley. Able to get through. Nate Keeley still hustling with it. Taken in by Parsons. And now behind the play, Keeley and Parsons having a bit of a shouting match. Wrapped back into Prowler territory, and then Keeley shoved Parsons, and Parsons ends up going right into the net. There will be a penalty coming up here, and it looks like they're going to even it up, as Brian Parsons is headed in the direction of the penalty boxes, as Keeley just shoved Parsons from behind in the slot, and Parsons went sliding into the net. And I guess they'll say Parsons was a bit of an agitator there. They just want to take both. Either way, instead of a Prowlers power play, it'll either be 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. They haven't put anything up yet, which leads me to believe right now it will be 5-on-5, and that looks to be the case. And of course, just as I say that, I'll be proven wrong. There are 4 4 players on the ice for each team, and now they have to put the penalties up on the score clock. So Keeley gets cross-checking, Parsons gets slashing. So maybe there was an original penalty to Parsons when he was giving Keeley some stick work behind the play as the puck came out of the zone. That might be possible, but either way, we play 4-on-4 for the second time in this game. Merritt beats out the icing race. Farmer has the puck, though. That was a designed play by the Prowlers to send the fastest man in one direction after the puck to beat out the icing. The Thunderbirds now trying to break out. It's Farmer. Farmer with a shot, stopped by Sokolov, and following up his own rebound. Farmer played it off the side of the net. Johnson gets in. Prowlers onside. Johnson makes the move, still with possession. He'll rim it all the way around. Federley pinching in to find it. Digging with Panacek. Now 3 Thunderbirds in there. Puck locked up between Federley's skates. Got about a minute left of 4-on-4. Scantlebury in there as well. Now Federley takes his man to the wall. Turned over to Scantlebury. Just momentarily, he'll chase back after the puck. Federley behind the net. Tried to flip it in front. Goes off the wall. And now rim back this side. Farmer up the boards towards Pastuca. He got it out. Schumacher brings it right back in. It's knocked off his stick. Now Scantlebury, a drive off the turnover. Blocked away by McClendon. 20 seconds to go in 4-on-4. Mostly spent in the Carolina end. Bioni taking a hit there. And Pastuca chips it out. Braden Deck revving the engines. Gets it to Scantlebury at the Thunderbirds line. Prowlers delayed offsides. We're back to 5-on-5. 6:05 left to go in the middle period. And now the Thunderbirds will go to a power play. Tripping is the call. And Scantlebury will go back to the box for the second time tonight. And the Thunderbirds power play, which is 1 for 2, will get an opportunity to score again. They'll send out the top unit that scored last time. Dan Chartrand will draw with Gus Ford. And now the Thunderbirds set up. Panacek down to Ford. Baker over to Pastuca. Wrist shot off the back wall. Parsons got it only as far as Pastuca at the line. Ford saucing it on for Baker. Settles it down. Panacek. Over to Pastuca. Back to Panacek. He'll walk in. Pastuca again touched it for Baker. Salak set up in front of the net. Pastuca took a spill away from the play. Now Ford driving the cage and he scores. Gus Ford does what he does best. Scores in tight. He roofs that one. Another power play goal for Carolina. And that makes it a 2-1 game. And we mentioned it, no points last night for Ford. Hasn't been held without a point in back-to-back games since the 2021-22 season. He picks up his team high 14th of the year. And also team high 5th on the power play. Deck taking Nate Keeley into the wall. Federley comes in for the puck. Puck popped up in the air. Jay just able to keep it in. Gets it to Graham on his backhand. Jay gloves it down. Now trying to settle it. Federley at the point. Wrists it deep for Graham. To Freeborn, tried to chop it on net, and McClendon just sticked it away. Couple of Prowlers in the area looking for it. Now Nate Keeley takes it, and a toe save by Sokolov. Freeborn left it there for Federley. Deck up towards Graham. Now comes back to Federley. Makes a move at center. He'll send it right in on McClendon. Baker had to take it away. Parsons wrists it through, blocked by Firth. Parsons has it back. He'll dump it in. Chartrand after it. He'll get there first. Cycles it behind the net for Merritt. Schumacher coming in with the puck, but he lost it. And now here comes Kramer starting a rush. His shot right into the chest of Makar Sokolov for a whistle. And now Kramer and Parsons locked up. They're wrestling at each other. Linesman trying to get in between. No gloves are off, and Parsons wrestles Kramer to the ice. I think a glove may have popped off in there. But I doubt this one has enough to go for a fighting major for either side, but we'll find out when we come back. 3:41 to go in the second period, and Carolina has a 1-goal lead. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry
Howie's! Back here at McMorran Place, 3:41 to go in the second period. And guess what? We're going to play some more 4-on-4 as Parsons and Kramer pick up matching unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. .341 left to go. Again in the period. Faceoff will be down in Sokolov's end. Prowlers will send out Graham, Jay, Federley, and Schumacher against Ford, Salak, Clay Keeley, and James Farmer. Graham and Ford in on the draw. Schumacher plays it forward. Here's Jay working on Farmer, knocked off his stick. Schumacher has it back. Tried to feed it in front, knocked away. Puck hops over the glass out of play. And some cheers for the young fan sitting in the front row over there, able to catch that puck. It's now an offensive zone face-off for Port Huron. Salak. Now revving up is Farmer on to Keeley. Sends it out high to Ford. His wrist shot blocked. And comes back to Farmer. Sent it right to Federley, but kicked off his skate. Thunderbirds still on the attack. Salak sending it around deep. Graham gets there ahead of Ford. He leaves it there in the corner. Schumacher jumping around Salak to get there first. Farmer steals it back towards Salak in the slot. Couldn't get to a shooting position. And Gaeta will curl back for the Prowlers, watched by Farmer. Port Huron making a change. Schumacher feeds it up to Scantleberry. Works his way past Pastuca, now past Panacek. Scantleberry all the way around the net. Leaves it off for Arnott. Sent it out in front. Off of Scantleberry's stick, Johnson down to Merritt. Makes a move, 15 seconds left in 4-on-4. Merritt plays it around to Scantleberry. Taken in hard by Bioni, fights through it. Scantleberry tried to stuff it at the post. Couldn't do it. And it comes out to Arnott at center. We're back to 5-on-5. Johnson back in. Foley sent it cross corner dump. Johnson and Kennedy in there together. They dig away on the wall. Foley able to pull it out. Then he's pushed up against the boards by Panacek. Minute 15 to go in the second period. Panacek kicks it out. Pastuca couldn't go the other direction. Good play by Schumacher to keep it in at least momentarily. Now Panacek works it across to Bioni. Prowlers trying to look the other way. Here's Foley, collapsed on by a couple of Thunderbirds. And as Schumacher passed it back up, that hit a Prowler skate that was inside Thunderbird territory, so offsides is the call. With 51 seconds left to go in the Hungry Howie's second period. Or maybe that's not the call. Faceoff is coming inside Thunderbird's end, and Dawson Baker's going to the penalty box. I did not see what happened there. So I'll let you know when it comes down the penalty sheet. And as I'm looking down, Roman Kramer and Brian Parsons each got roughing penalties. They were changed from unsportsmanlike conduct. The Prowlers to the quality power play. As Firth muscled off by Scantleberry. There's Johnson. If the Prowlers don't score, it will spill into the third period, will the power play. Scantleberry, the Johnson. They switch spots. Fed to Freeborn. Down to Gaeta. Out to Scantleberry. Winds, fires. Blocked by Schnapp down on a knee. The official calls too many men on the ice against Carolina. Johnson sent down to take a seat by Schnapp, and then Schnapp's stick came right up into Johnson's face. The arm is up in the air. And with 5.6 seconds to go, it's going to be a whistle and a face-off, and somebody's being whistled to the box, and nobody knows who it is. There's lots of confusion right now. They're finally taking Schnapp. That's who I figured it would be. And Schnapp's arguing that Johnson was laying on the ice when he high-sticked him, so it's not really his fault. And the impartial guy that I am has to agree with Jacob Schnapp a little bit here, that it isn't really his fault when you high-stick someone who's laying on the ice. I'm not sure if the referee did see the play or if he just looked over, saw Johnson down holding his face and tried to connect the dots. Off the faceoff, Federley walks in over Picard, the one-timer, stopped by McClendon at the horn. And the Prowlers will get a minute and 9 of 5-on-3 time when we come back for the third period of play. Through 2, it is 2-1 Carolina. Coming up in the second intermission report, we chatted with Special Olympian Brian Larson as the Prowlers celebrate law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics night. And he showed me his medals, and he's a big part of the Prowlers organization as he helps out on the bench with equipment during home games. And tonight, he is actually behind the bench in a Christmas suit. But we chatted to him about just what this night means to him, that the Prowlers are celebrating the Special Olympics, which has been such a big part of his life. You won't want to miss this great interview with Special Olympian Brian Larson. And you also get to take a peek at his medals. So be sure to stick around for that coming up in the second intermission. We'll also take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Prowlers. And it's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game as they host their I-94 rivals, the Motor City Rockers, on Friday, December 29th, with puck drop at McMorran Place scheduled for 7:05 p.m. Tickets are available online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan that QR code on your screen now to experience Prowlers hockey live and in person in the old barn, McMorran Place, the way it's meant to be experienced. That's online at phprowlers.com/tickets, by phone at 810-985-6166, or scan that QR code on your screen now to secure your seats for the Prowlers' next home game. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, Special Olympian Brian Larson talks about his experiences in the Special Olympics and what this night means to him. It's coming up right here on the PHP Network.
I've worked at Pioneer and now Corteva for 36 years. It goes by very quickly.
This is a pretty noble profession where you're giving back to humanity.
Curiosity is so important. I learn something new every day.
What's that next challenge that may occur for farmers? You do really feel like you've got an impact on what's coming.
I can see how we're making things better.
And we have the best solutions for our farmers. And I think we're here to feed and fuel the world. I'm proud to be part of that culture, and I'm proud to be part of the company.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry
Howie's!
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should have just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
So what events did you compete in?
I competed in snowshoe and bowling.
Snowshoe. So you did a little winter, little summer?
Yes.
Nice. What was your high score in bowling?
I can get up to over 200, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think I can get over 200, so that's good. And then snowshoe, just like like racing.
Yep.
Snowshoe racing. Cool.
They're like big flip flops, and it felt weird walking in them the first time. But once you get the hang of it, it's like, go.
Yeah, you go. Did you get to travel any fun places to compete?
Mount Pleasant is for summer games. I can't really remember where winter games is held, but really Mount Pleasant, it's right on the campus of Central Michigan. That is actually Special Olympics home base.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So it's right nearby.
Yep.
Home base, that's cool. So tell me about the medals you got on right here. Hold them up a little bit for the camera.
Well, I got these two, I do believe, from bowling, and these two, no, I got one from snowshoe, and I think the rest were from bowling. It's been so long. But, yeah, I'm very proud of these things. I'll be wearing these on the 16th. The last time I wore them on the 16th, it didn't bring us luck, but before, it brought us luck.
So what was the experience like to get to do the Special Olympics?
It's cool because to see people with different disabilities actually compete in things that regular people can't do or can do. So it's pretty awesome.
How did you first get involved in it?
I went through an agency. I was at a day program for a while. And they had a group of people that went. So and they asked me, and I said yes. And I had a lot of fun with that. I'm currently trying to see if I can go as an individual for next year. But
what sport would you go
bowling.
Bowling.
I'm not a fan of winter.
Yeah, it gets a little cold, right?
Yes.
A little chilly. So, did you know that bowling and snowshoeing were going to be your sports, or did you try stuff out? How did you pick those?
I didn't really pick them. The staff that we had go with us chose them. I chose bowling, but I didn't know what I wanted to do for winter. It was summer. It was up to them, and they're like, "Well, do you want to do snowshoe?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can give it a try."
What do the Special Olympics mean to you, just as a part of your life?
As a part of my life, it just means that you can that it just shows other people that people with disabilities can do stuff, but just in a different type way. And it just brings me joy to be a part of the Special Olympics.
Well, why should people come out and support the Special Olympics and support the torch run for the Special Olympics?
Because it shows, like I said, individuals that don't have disabilities that we can do stuff as people without disabilities can do. And that's basically all that. And we need the support. So that's about it.
Oh, Brian, you got some great medals there, some nice hardware, and surely some lifelong memories, right?
Yes.
That's great. Well, thanks for taking some time to sit down with me and tell me a little bit more about the Special Olympics.
You're welcome. And be sure to come out to December 16th to watch me get my 4th win.
Going for the 4th win. All right.
Yep.
Going for number 4.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
They're seriously not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com.
wrapping up the second intermission here at McMorran Place, and the Prowlers trailing the Carolina Thunderbirds by a score of 2-1. Will Wiggleman with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on Teddy Bear Toss Night. I hope everyone threw their teddy bears at their TV screens when Dalton J scored in that second period. But before we take a look back at that period, let's take a look around the FPHL with our out-of-town scoreboard. And 3 of the 4 games at intermission right now. Danbury and Elmira still 1-1 through the second intermission after a goalless second period. Danbury up on shots 26-12. The Binghamton Black Bears have a 3-0 lead on the Watertown Wolves. 9 different Bears with a point in that game, including the goaltender Connor McCanama. And it is 3-0 through 1 period of play. 2 of those goals coming by way of the power play. Still in the first period, they're just finishing up cleaning up the Teddy Bears in Columbus. Cody Wickline scored the Teddy Bear toss goal for the River Dragons. They have a 1-0 lead on the Blue Ridge Bobcats still in the opening period. And the Baton Rouge Zydeco and the Mississippi Seawolves battling in Biloxi. It's the Seawolves with a 2-0 lead through 20 minutes of play. Danny Licio and Joachim Nilsson, the goal scorers tonight. And of course, here it is still 2-1. And before we again look at the stats from those first 2 periods, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Prowlers. Next week, they head back on the road to Danbury. A 7:30 and a 7 p.m. start. We'll have them both for you right here on the PHP Network as the Prowlers visit the defending champs for the first time this season. First of 2 trips to Danbury this year. And then they'll be home for their final 2 home games of 2023. They face the Motor City Rockers on the 29th and the 30th here at McMorran Place, and then they'll finish up the 3-3 with Motor City on Sunday the 31st, a New Year's Eve afternoon matinee down at Big Boy Arena. And that will be the end of 2023 for the Prowlers, but it begins a very tough stretch of 7 games in 9 days for Port Huron. They have the 2 at home against Motor City and the 1 on the road against Motor City, and then they'll travel to Mississippi and Carolina to begin the month of January. So a tough stretch coming up for the Prowlers in just a couple of weeks right there on the schedule. Turning our attention back to tonight's game, it's a 2-1 Carolina lead. Thunderbirds have the slight edge in shots, 23-22. And they're getting it done on the power play. Carolina 2 for 3 on the man advantage. Prowlers 0 for 2 right now. They do have 2 power plays up on the board. And that will be a 5-on-3 for 1 minute and 9 seconds scheduled to start this third period. And you think back to last year's Teddy Bear toss goal when they had a lengthy power play. It was actually a 5-minute major to start the third period. They scored 4 times on it to pull away from the Columbus River Dragons. We'll see if they can get similar success here on the man advantage to start the third period tonight. Well, before we get to the action on the ice, let's answer our PHP Network trivia question. Last season, Prowlers defeating the Columbus River Dragons 7-3 in their Teddy Bear toss game. Who scored the Teddy Bear toss goal? And the answer is Dalton J. He did it again tonight. Second year in a row for Dalton J. scoring the Teddy Bear toss goal, as he got the first one for Port Huron in that 7-3 victory over the Columbus River Dragons. Prowlers hoping for a similar result tonight. Frankie McClendon getting set in the goal crease to our left. He has 21 saves on 22 Prowlers shots. And on the other side, Makar Sokolov, he has 20 saves on 22 Thunderbirds shots. And the crowd acknowledging Frank Schumacher, who, along with his wife Monica, welcomed their second child to the world this week. So congratulations again to the Schumacher family. And we can't wait to have another Schumacher running around McMorran Place. Prowlers trying to run up a couple of power play goals here. 50 seconds left in the 5-on-3. As Federle fires, and it's blocked. Comes out of the zone. That was Farmer who got in front of it. Foley leaves it for Federle. Across to Johnson, and now back. Federle to Foley, in the slot, comes across, and a sliding save by McClendon on Picard, or I believe that was Picard on the far side. Johnson, wrist shot off a stick and high. Scantlebury to Johnson, touched back to him. Scantlebury, one-timer, missed high and wide. Federle keeps it in. Baker out of the box, and now it's 5-on-4. Foley to Federle, has room, stopped by McClendon. He didn't know where the rebound was, but lucky for him, his defense able to clear it the length of the ice. Prowlers switch up the power play unit. They have 25 seconds left in 5-on-4. And poked off Sims' stick. Salak leaves it back, and Kennedy will wind and fire it 185 feet right on Sokolov. So count that one as a shot on goal. Turned over, Nate Keeley. Kick saved by Sokolov. The rebound, another from Makar. Sokolov stretching out. Oh boy, a tough turnover for the Prowlers. And Makar Sokolov bails them out early on in this third period. And they're about to drop to 0 for 4 on the power play as Schnapp gets set to step out of the box in 2 seconds. Sokolov keeps it moving. We're back to 5-on-5. Prowlers get 3 shots on that power play, but so did the Thunderbirds. Neither team scores, though, as Salak spun around. Chartrand dumps it in. McClendon. Now Firth. Chopped along by Pastuca. Sent it back in, but they'll say that puck just did cross the blue line, so offside against the Prowlers. 17:43 to go in the third period. Port Huron looking to make a comeback here, trailing 2-1. Thunderbirds trying to sweep their trip up to Michigan after beating the Motor City Rockers last night in comeback fashion. Panacek to Salak, wrist shot, missed it high, bounces to Scantlebury. Working up the left wing side, he'll pull up, comes back to Freeborn off the bench, lost the handle and sent all the way down. And icing called against the Thunderbirds. They don't like that call, but Prowlers will take it. They'll get an offensive zone face-off out of it. Faceoff will come to Frankie McClendon's left. Matt Graham's line out there. He'll draw with Peter Panacek, the center for the Thunderbirds check line. There's Bioni feeding it around. Parsons goes D to Schumacher. Jay on for Graham. He'll send it deep. Farmer and Freeborn get there together. They cancel out. And Bioni got it behind the net. Salak and Graham chasing after that puck. Now Ford plays it off the boards. Schumacher gloved it down, sends it back in. Ford backhands it out. Baker and Deck come together. That puck slides right onto McClendon. Picard right there. He'll force McClendon to put the glove on top. And with 16-16 left to go in the third period, another offensive zone faceoff coming for the Prowlers. Comes out of the Thunderbirds' end. It's Ford turning it on to Kramer. Cross corner dump. Federley gets there first. They'll play it out. Kennedy right there at the red line to take it. Now Clay Keeley down to his knees. Got it up to Kramer. He's watched by Picard as he retreats behind his own net. They'll leave it for Kennedy and head off for a change. Prowlers also getting some fresh bodies on the ice as Keeley comes in and dumps it deep. Sokolov plays it this way. Nate Keeley right off the wall. Sent it back on net and Sokolov got down to make the save. Nate Keeley put it back there and scooped up by Makar Sokolov for a whistle and a face-off. 15-12 left to go in the third period. Early shots in this period favoring Carolina, 6-3. You remember the Prowlers were the ones with a 5-on-3 for over a minute to start the frame. And a little more 5-on-4 time after that. Johnson to Gaeta. Able to stick handle his way out of trouble. Thunderbirds send it right back into Prowler ice. Sokolov plays it over to Arnott. Fires it ahead to Sim. Looking for Merritt charging to the net. Off of Farmer's skate. Butita enters offensive territory. Wrists it right through the crease. And Kennedy plays it back around towards his captain. Merritt off the wall. He's able to get it out. And Bioni claps it right back in. Johnson to Merritt. He'll get the red line, get it in. Hustle after it himself. Salak pulls it out. Now Pastuka. Couldn't get it out. Prowlers get it back deep. Bioni took a hit from Merritt. Pastuka lofts it to Salak. All the way around the net. In front looking for his fellow Czech Pastuka. That got through and now the Prowlers out with it. Scantleberry working on Bioni. All the way around the net. Tried the drop pass. That was intercepted. Schumacher tries to turn it back the other way. Foley chips it in. He'll head after it. Foley out high. One-timer from Picard kicked out. Bounces around in the crease. And it's cleared to the line. Deck just couldn't keep it in. And Deck lost his stick. Panacek curls back. This pass off of Federley's stick. Dalton J. That's the red line. Dumps it in. Freeborn lifted Clay Keeley's stick. Jay battling for that puck. Comes over to Ford. Now Gus Ford working through neutral ice into Prowler territory and missed on the short side. Worked up to Freeborn. Puck sits there at the Carolina line, and now Kramer with plenty of gray sweaters back. Clay Keeley from the line, kicked out by Sokolov. Farmer had his shot blocked. Puck sits there, nobody going after it. Finally, Johnson gets there, run into by Kramer. Johnson has it again. Red line right in on, well, tried to get it in on net, just bounced wide. Gaeta looking for Parsons. He'll play it ahead of Butita and just get it out. Carolina with plenty of pressure, up a goal here in the third period. One wristed wide off a stick. Gaeta to Parsons. Lead pass on for Sim. Drop for Gaeta. His shot right into McClendon, who will hang on for a whistle and a face-off. We'll take a timeout. About to the midway point of the third period. Prowlers still looking for a goal. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people. They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumb Coast professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today. Back here at McMorran Place, Prowlers still trailing by a goal. And they're finally into offensive territory. A lot of the play in this third period has been on the Port Huron, at least half of center, at least the Port Huron half of that red line, as the Prowlers seem for a few shifts. Every time they dump it out, Carolina would just dump it right back in. Now they'll play in the offensive end. Johnson, a wrist shot right into the catching glove of Frankie McClendon. Thunderbirds will switch up all 5 skaters. Graham will take the face-off against Panacek. Farmer lost an edge. Still able to get it up to Panacek, who dumps it out. Federley up to Scantleberry. Tried to wheel it in. Now Salak from the outside. His shot eaten up by the stick of Alex Johnson, and it flies out of play. Shots 30-29 in favor of the Thunderbirds in this game. Both goaltenders having great nights. It's another low-scoring battle between these two teams. I mean, relatively so. You especially saw that on the scoreboard in their second game last weekend, but even the first one was pretty low-scoring for most of it, before Carolina tacked on a couple at the end. These two teams do like to play some defense. They are good with their defensive structures. At least their coaching staffs try and make sure that's the case. The goaltenders have done some good work tonight on both sides. Schumacher and Salak tie up. Baker pulls it out, gives to Kennedy. Back to Baker. Kennedy again. Wrists it through right on Sokolov. He juggled the rebound, and Parsons is able to clear the zone. Penalty coming up. It's going to be against the Prowlers as McClendon heads to the bench for the extra attacker. Baker plays behind his own net. Kennedy into offensive territory. Scantlebury took Baker down away from the play. Baker still flopping around on the ice. Now he's back to his feet. Panacek back in his own end. Still a 6-on-5 attack with a delayed penalty for Carolina. And finally, the Prowlers able to touch up, and we'll get the call. Roughing is the signal. It was so long ago, I don't remember who it was. We'll find out when we come back. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network. So Brandon Picard is the one heading to the penalty box on a penalty that I don't think is his, but the referees did not know who it was that committed the penalty, and that's what the Carolina bench is yelling about right now. They originally came over to the Prowlers bench, tried to call Alex Johnson off, but Johnson wasn't even on the ice, and he verbalized that to the referees, and eventually Picard just slid over there and goes and sits for two. I did not see who it was who actually did take the penalty. It happened in front of the Prowlers net, away from the puck. And of course, after that, the Thunderbirds did get to play with it for a while with a 6-on-5 advantage, and Sam Merritt has been thrown out of this faceoff, so is Gus Ford. They'll try it with Graham and Panacek, and they're able to get it down. Pastuca over to Baker, back to Pastuca. Baker again. Down to Panacek. Baker walks in. Couple of stick moves, he shoots, and I think that hit some traffic in front. Federley only got it as far as the lines. Pastuca flew over there to keep it alive. Baker down to Ford, working in front. Good save by Sokolov. He does a snow angel. And he keeps it out, and now Salak going after Matt Graham. He knocks Graham down to the ice. Merritt comes and gives Salak a hug. The clock is continuing to tick here. The clock just ticked down probably 20 seconds while all that was going on. What a play by Makar Sokolov, though, to make the save. And now they'll go back to reset the clock. And it looks like they're setting it at 8:37, which is 7 seconds more than I have it here. Of course, my clock is not connected to the clock here at McMorran Place, and now they set it back to 8:44, so just as I fix mine, they run it down to, they put it back to 8:44. They also have to reset the penalty clock here, and they do so. So minute 16 now left in the penalty that is apparently to Brandon Picard. That one gets by Pastuca, Shartrand after it. Yeah, a couple shorthanded goals last season. He wrestles his man down to the ice as Pastuca comes out with the puck. Salak trying to fight off Shartrand. Prowlers did get their first shorthanded goals of the season last weekend. They had 2. Carolina's the only team in the FPHL without one. Schumacher couldn't dangle by. Now Ford gives it over to Panacek on the near side. 8 minutes to go, third period, 32 seconds left on the PK for the Prowlers. Baker down to Ford, looking back door. That one didn't find Panacek, and it's rimmed down ice. McClendon to play it, quick up to Ford. Ford slides down. Federley, lead pass on for Graham, but he's offside at the Carolina line. 12 seconds left on the True Balance penalty kill for the Prowlers. 7:40 to go in the third period.
8, 0, 2, 3.
And they'll bring that face-off all the way back to Prowler ice where the pass originated from. Butita handles the face-off, got to the middle of the ice. Kennedy with a good play to keep it in. And the one-timer by Firth is patted away by Sokolov, and that's going to do it for the Carolina power play. Big kill for the Prowlers. And now they'll try to find that tying goal with time ticking down. No goals yet here in the third period. As Graham runs into a Thunderbird at the red line. Sokolov behind the net. They'll play it around. Now Federley. Up to Johnson. Plays it along. Kennedy. Dumps it behind the Prowler net. Federley off the wall to Johnson. Quick up to Merritt. That puck bouncing around. And finally settled down by Federley. Kramer down low. Quick shot by Baker from the slot. Stopped by Sokolov. Then Johnson took a stick up high. No arms in the air. Farmer walks, gives over. Baker broke his stick on the shot. It was kicked out by Sokolov. Now Johnson working the other way. Gives it to Sim. His shot hit a stick. Farmer took a hit from Johnson. Baker looking for that puck. He'll feed it around this side. Ford with under 6 to play. Just softly lifts it out. Schumacher makes a move at the blue line. Prowlers stretching their legs to stay on sides. I'm sure the yoga helps with that. There's Freeborn down deep to Foley. Back in front looking for Freeborn. Just bounced away. Now Carolina looking for a 2-on-1. Ford with Salak. He takes the shot. Does Gus Ford, and it's shouldered away by Makar Sokolov. So the Prowlers were able to get back to negate the 2-on-1. Back the other way, Gaeta. Or it's Freeborn, excuse me. This pass ends up going all the way back to Prowler ice. Johnson over to Parsons. Graham tips it in. Scantleberry after it. Runs Joe Kennedy into the wall. Scantleberry to Jay. Couldn't feed it in front. And now Johnson. Sent back the other direction by Panacek. Under 5 to play. Here in the third period, Prowlers need a goal. Johnson, rink-wide feed, finds Gaeta, who scored with a goaltender pulled in Carolina a couple weeks ago to send the game to overtime. Prowlers can use a little more of that magic here as Parsons pulls it out, looking for Gaeta. Puck comes all the way down. Icing waved off as Merritt was flying in. There's Nate Keeley up to Schnapp. Knocked off his stick. Gaeta back out. Up to Merritt. Pulls up. Looking for Gaeta again. Now Sim on the backhand. Sends it around behind. Ford whips it out. Glove down by Federley. Federley almost gave it up there. He has it back. Schumacher quickly to Foley. Sends it across. Freeborn off the wall, looking back for Foley. Kennedy took it away, and now it's Ford. Chip back to Carolina ice. Freeborn and Kennedy hard in after it. 3:15 to go in regulation. Pulled out on the backhand. That one wouldn't go. Johnson had a sea of bodies in front of him, so he didn't let the shot go. Quick shot shouldered away by McClendon, and it flies out of play. We'll get a whistle and a face-off. Prowlers looking for a goal as things get late here at McMorran Place. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers hockey on the PHP Network.
Mac and cheese is up.
Mac and cheese pizza? Mac and cheese pizza.
That's right, the new mac and cheese pizza from Hungry Howie's. Mac and cheese, mozzarella, panko breadcrumbs, and our famous flavored crust. Only for a limited time.
Hungry
Howie's. 3:01 to go in regulation. Prowlers trailing the Thunderbirds by a goal. Will Wiggleman with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Just want to give you a heads up to tune in to our next broadcast on Friday, December 22nd, when the Prowlers visit the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Puck drop is at 7:30. Pregame show starts at 7:15 right here on the PHP Network. Steal by Salak. He'll cycle it deep. Johnson gives it to Graham, who bounces it right back. Schumacher. Let's go Prowlers chant starting from the crowd. And now Johnson trying to curl away from Salak, who drags him down. Graham up to Freeborn. Freeborn has it back. Graham, touch it on. Beautiful play, and they jam away. It wouldn't go. Scantleberry to Freeborn on the back door, and it just wouldn't go, and they couldn't jam it home. 2:15 to go in the third. Oh my. That was a heck of a passing play from this line, and Liam Freeborn might see that one in his nightmares. So he just couldn't tap it home. They'll reset the pegs here. We'll keep an eye on Makar Sokolov. See if they pull him for the extra attacker. Of course, Chris Paul and a goalie himself running the bench for the Prowlers. They were about to take the faceoff out of offensive territory for the Prowlers, but now they put it right back into that dot. Off the faceoff, Salak works to the offensive end. Couple of Prowlers collapse on him. 2 minutes to go. Port Huron works up ice. Merritt fed it along. Icing waved off. Kennedy off the glass into the bench. So a minute 52 to go in regulation. Offensive zone faceoff coming for the Prowlers. Sokolov still staying put in his net. Gus Ford, Matt Graham in on the faceoff to McClendon's right. Farmer played it up the wall on the near side. Johnson towards the net, went right through the crease. Schumacher couldn't get it deep. It's backhanded out, and it won't have the legs for icing. Johnson flying up, gives to Scantlebury, rims it around. Schumacher down towards Graham. Graham tried to feed it out to Scantlebury. 80 seconds to go in regulation. Here comes Johnson. Fed up to Freeborn. And his pass back to Johnson goes awry. Prowlers need to get into the offensive zone as we approach the final minute of regulation. Merritt dumped it in. Scantlebury plays it around. Sokolov to the bench. Prowlers with the extra attacker. Federley. That one pops up in the air. Knocked down. Scantlebury in front. Kennedy took it away. Scantlebury took a shove. He's slow to get up. And now they'll blow it dead. The arm is up in the air. Cross-checking is the signal from the referee. So the Prowlers will have a 6-on-4 attack for the next 35.8 seconds. And a chance to tie the game. Looks like Port Huron will call a timeout here. It's been a low-scoring affair. Both teams getting some great goaltending tonight. Shots 39-31 in favor of the Thunderbirds. 16-9 for Carolina in this third period. That's a bit of a concerning number if you're a Prowlers fan, because this is a period the Prowlers had to have, period they had to win because they were trailing by one heading into it. They even had a power play at the beginning of the frame. But still, Carolina has been out shooting them by 7 here in this third frame. Jan Salak got the first goal on the man advantage in the first. Dalton Jay responded early in the second. That sent the Teddy Bears on the ice. And then Gus Ford also on the power play later in the second. Made it 2-1 Carolina, and that's where we stand. As the Prowlers draw up a play for this 6-on-4 attack, needing a goal late. They'll send out Scantlebury, Gaeta, Federley, Johnson, Graham, and Freeborn to do it. Ford, Schnapp, Firth, and Clay Keeley up there for Carolina. Off the face-off, it's tied up. Schnapp trying to work past Johnson. Schnapp towards the empty net, and he gets it. So right off the face-off, Jacob Schnapp goes the length of the ice. And he'll put it into the empty net, and that'll about do it for this one. The first shorthanded goal of the season for the Carolina Thunderbirds is an empty netter. Looks like it will seal this one and send the fans to the exits. So unfortunately for the Prowlers, they can't find the same magic tonight as they did last year during the Teddy Bear toss game. .8 seconds to go in this one. This might be another good opportunity to remind you to tune in next Friday when the Prowlers take on the defending champion, Danbury hat tricks at 7:30 p.m. right here on the PHP network. Freeboard, back into the slot. Shot sticked away by McClendon. Prowlers have an empty net again. Federley will play it, and that's going to do it. So tonight, the Thunderbirds win a low-scoring affair. Frankie McClendon with 31 saves, and he gets one more right there at the end. And the Carolina Thunderbirds come away with a 3-1 win. They move to 4-0 over the Prowlers this season, and they extend their win streak to 3 games, and they've won 10 of their last 11. Move up to 14-3-0, 38 points, good for second in the Continental Division. And for the Prowlers, they see their 2-game win streak come to an end. Drop to 7-7-2, 22 points. And for right now, third in the Continental. But if Mississippi's able to win tonight against Baton Rouge, which they're up 2-0 at last look, then they will fall back down to fourth, but still with 3 games in hand on the Mississippi Seawolves. Another reminder, tune in to our next broadcast. 7:30 p.m. start in Danbury, so that's a road game for the Prowlers. Pre-game show will be at 7:15. We'll have it all for you right here on the PHP network. Now, this one's a tough one to swallow for Port Huron. Of course, you always want to win on the specialty nights. Wearing the specialty Christmas jerseys. They have the teddy bear toss tonight. Jan Salak got the scoring started on the power play in the first. Dalton J responds for Port Huron in the second, gets the teddy bears out on the ice. Then Gus Ford scores what would be the eventual game winner late in that second period. Jacob Schnapp hit the empty netter, and 3-1 is your final here at McMorran Place. Let's take one more look around the FPHL at the scores. Right now, the Elmira River Sharks have just finished up a 4-2 win over the Danbury Hat Tricks. Binghamton Black Bears still with a 3-0 lead on Watertown as they play late in the second. Columbus has a 3-0 lead on Blue Ridge early in the second. And Mississippi 5-1 up on the Baton Rouge Zydeco late in the second period. So that score, all those scores hold. The Thunderbirds will stay at second in the division, and the Prowlers will drop down to fourth. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on the PHP Network. For Kim running the camera, I'm Will Wiggleman. We'll see you next time on Friday night when the Prowlers visit the defending champion, Danbury Hat Tricks, and we'll see you here on the PHP Network.
Thank you.